Hey everybody, Outdoor Adventures coming to you on the road this week. We are in what? Parts unknown?
That's right, redacted
nature.
Location.
Yeah, there we go. Brent Barnett here with you. First gen hunter, Kent Boucher. Has been on the show quite a few times. We've talked about shed hunting so much that Kent, we decided let's just do one in the field, go on a shed hunt together. So this is going to be really fun, guys. Kent's the expert here. I'm just the annoying guy following along, putting a GoPro in his face.
I made sure to drop some sheds off earlier today to look like we know what we're doing, so let's go find them.
All right, so basically the plan here is him and I, we're going to walk around, do some shed hunting. We'll pop in from time to time and do kind of some video updates as far as what we're looking at, why we're walking certain areas. And so, yeah, man, let's get to it. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go, guys.
I found a handful of sheds just through my binos, and the number of times I don't find them though is about 100 to 1. But it always helps when you're in a good area that you can't cover all of it.
Do you think,
give it a quick scan?
Do you think most bucks have lost them at this point?
No, I think we're still probably at 50% at best over the next week and a half. Then we'll probably jump to like 70-75%.
So March Madness should really be like shed antler madness.
Oh yeah, okay. I love it that people are inside watching TV during that time of the year.
Yeah,
but no, we still got the best days ahead of us. But I mean, what's today? The 27th.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we're getting real close. There's a lot of antlers on the ground already.
Do you like a day like this where the sun's out, or would you prefer overcast?
Cloudy's better. Okay. But for right now, it works having the sun at our backs. You know, that can provide a unique advantage as well. You know, kind of, especially if it's a year-old antler, a hard white. You know, it'll really kind of glow amongst the leaf litter and stuff like that. But yeah, overcast is always better. A little bit rainy is perfect.
For me, guys, the conditions don't matter. I'm blind and I can't see them to begin with, so I'm gonna have to trip on one today if I'm gonna find it.
Oh, we'll find something.
All right, we'll keep her moving. Could have been anything. EHD. I mean, well, could have been shot.
We're right by a creek. My guess is it's well, it is kind of fresh though. I mean, it's got a lot of hide on it, so it might just be unrecovered deer. Or,
no sheds yet, which is fine, but we're seeing a lot of good sign.
Oh yeah, a lot of good spots to come back and hunt.
You know, we're about to hit another spot here, but I just wanted to ask Kent, do you usually find sheds more in the timber or more out in the open, like in a crop field or a prairie?
Yeah, during the shedding time of year, deer, it's all about bed to food. And I mean, throughout the year, except for the rut, it's bed to food, right? But during the winter, that range between those two things gets shrunk up to conserve energy because there's less food that's available, and because it's so cold, they're burning a lot of calories just in their bed trying to stay warm. And so, generally speaking, I find most of my sheds in short-term bedding areas right on the edge of food. As far as finding woodland sheds, to me that's the most challenging thing, but there's guys that are really good at it. Emmett Enyart, he's another Iowan. He's got a great YouTube channel, Extreme Element Outdoors. He finds a ton of sheds in woodland habitat, and really I've never seen somebody excel at that as well as he does. So that's a part of my game I'm trying to improve on, and so it's kind of fun, you know, walking around in this area. We've only been going for not even an hour yet, but I feel like we've already covered some really good ground here on this piece.
Yeah, we're keeping some mental notes. Kent's dropping some pins to remember spots. So when you're out on a hunt, how much of it is looking for sheds and how much of it is scouting for next year?
Oh, it's always looking for sheds, but because of how I look for sheds, my system for it really functions as a scouting mission too. You know, I'm trying to piece together where do you find deer, and so it lends itself well. And I don't mark every rub and every scrape and stuff like that, but if there's something that's significant that sticks out to me, then yeah, I'll definitely mark that. And you know, it's just, I may never come back and hunt it, but I might. You know, you don't know how your situation is going to change from year to year. There's a piece of public that Brent and I used to really enjoy hunting, and it's basically devoid of deer now because of some major work being done on that piece. And so, you know, you could show up on October 1st and be planning to go there to your old spots, and if you don't have them, you better have a plan B. And so I guess this is kind of plan B setup, you know, mission today too.
Yeah, and I told Kent last year I had a plan B that I had to figure out in the moment.
Yeah.
In November, early November.
Yeah.
Luckily it paid off. Somehow, some way, ended up getting a buck on November 8th. But yeah, you still don't want to be put in that situation where it's time to,
Right.
You got your week off, you're getting ready to go, and you don't have a place to go.
Right, yep. You got to put some acres under your feet so that you can get back to a new spot that you at least have some familiarity with, even if you haven't hunted it before, and still have an opportunity to get it done.
I'm gonna get the GoPro out of his face here for a little bit, give him a break, but we'll check back in again. I feel pretty confident we're gonna find something today. We did find that dead deer earlier, but I don't know. Maybe we'll pick up a shed or two yet.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
We're in a great spot. I mean, someone could always beat you to it, but I feel pretty confident the best is still ahead of us yet today.
All right, we'll get another update here pretty quick. We'll see you in a bit. What do you got?
Well, we got our first shed of the day.
It only took the afternoon, but we got her, right?
That's right.
Let's find it.
We'll take it.
Well, you pick her up. Nice eye, man. You saw that
Thank
from
you.
far away.
Yeah, oh, look at that. It's still got blood on it. I might have just shed last night or this morning.
It's pretty deep, too.
Yeah, it didn't look like it felt too good, does it?
So was it just an 8-point size, small little 1.5-year-old buck?
Yeah. Nothing too crazy, but we'll definitely take that.
Hey, maybe he was the one making all that sign up on the hilltop that we were looking at.
Maybe. We get after him in a couple of years.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we got one on the board. You know, it was interesting. We came through such good looking habitat over there. You know, we're up on a big oak flat that transitioned into prairie, and then coming down we had some invasive wetland grasses, reed canary grass, kind of a monoculture mixed in with some multiflora rose, and you know, we were just seeing beds everywhere. And we kind of walked down into this bowl here, and you know, the spot that didn't look near as high of odds, we ended up finding one. That's how it goes. Shed hunting.
Man, yeah, that's really cool, man. I wonder if the other side's hanging around nearby.
It very well could be.
Or something else. Maybe he was traveling with his older second cousin that we want to keep an eye on.
That's the one we want to find, yeah. We'll take these. We like the little ones too.
Let's zoom in on there. Heck yeah. Hasn't been chewed up at all. Man, that's awesome. Nice find, dude.
Thank you.
Kent says he's got another one. We're having a good second half here.
Yeah. Just gotta find all places where they left first.
Where you at, buddy?
This one's been on the ground for a year or two. Been chewed up a little bit by the squirrels.
A little bigger than the other one, though.
Yeah.
Nice main beam.
Probably a year older. Might be his dad.
So we got two right sides today.
Yep.
So that one's been chewed up. Probably
Yeah.
coyote maybe, or squirrel.
Squirrels for sure, yeah. They really hammered it, but the pedicle is still in, the burr is still in decent shape here.
So,
yeah, always good to find some though, you know? Even the old ones are good.
dude, you and I have walked to some what we thought were really good spots so far, and we're almost
This spot
kind
is,
of getting towards the end here, and you found two now in the last 5 minutes.
yeah, we're close to a food source. Still a lot of southern exposure here. And it's hard to explain, but sometimes when you're in a spot, it just feels good, like the messiness of the woods, kind of, you know. And this spot just has that feel to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's, you know, 3 or 4 sheds pretty close here that we, you know, if we scour good enough, we might be able to pick up one of them. But yeah, we're in a good spot now.
Kent's batting 1,000 at this point, and I'm trying to break out of a lifetime slump. So let's see what we can do here the
We'll
last
get you a
30
shed
minutes.
here, bud. You're gonna find a giant.
You think we'll find one? We
Oh,
might
yeah.
find a good
Yeah,
3.5-year-old buck or something.
This spot right here just feels good, and I can see this spot being kind of overlooked by other shed hunters. So I think we're gonna find another one yet today.
What? Just kind of random thought here. What's the biggest shed you've ever found?
Gross, it would have scored like 73, I believe. And then I found a couple others that were up around that 70 mark, and then I haven't found an 80 yet, although I did find a shed that was in the bloodline of that 73 inch, but by the time I found it, it was on the ground for like 2 years, and it had already had its entire main beam, or its entire brow tine G1 chewed, and then half the main beam was gone, and I think it was missing another tine, so it was pretty chewed up, but it had a giant split G2 on it, and I think that one would have cracked 80 if it had been fresh, you know.
I've told Kent before, the biggest shed I ever found, I was actually mushroom hunting with some family, and I don't know what the actual side would have scored, but the deer, if you would have imagined on a buck's head, lower 150s.
Oh yeah, that'd be a real nice shed.
Yeah. He blew up the next season, and the neighbor got him during gun season, and he was in the mid to upper 160s. Really nice buck.
That's awesome. Would have been nice to put a tag on him.
I know, dang it. But hey, I was happy for him. He was hunting him just as hard as we were.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You love to see people who deserve it get it, right?
Yeah. Well, let's hit this hot spot here. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Just found 30 bucks, Brent.
Yeah, let's see it. It's got blood on it.
It's got a, you know what? I wonder if they're shooting a, no.
It doesn't have a tip. It's just
got a little O-ring on it. Probably we're shooting an expandable.
Is it broke off?
No. The insert is out of it. There's nothing to screw into. My guess is unfortunately, they probably shoulder punched something, and it knocked the insert out. Buck probably took off. Might have survived.
Well guys, that's gonna wrap up our shed hunt. How far do you think we went?
Well, you find out.
Yeah, let's do the tally, because you know I gotta mark my steps, you know.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about it, Brent. I think I've said it on your podcast before, I usually have to find 5 dead deer before I find a shed, and obviously I found these 2 within 10 minutes of each other, so that rule didn't apply there. But with the first shed today, I think when I first spotted this fresh one here,
yeah,
laying there, I pulled up my binos and got into a better spot to see if it was a deer skull. It was kind of tucked behind some mud. And when I looked down on the ground, I saw a jawbone off of another deer, and I think that was deer number 4. And so the rule wasn't quite spot on, but it was pretty close. You know, where there's some rhythm to when you're shed hunting, number of miles you got to walk, number of dead deer you're finding. It's kind of formulating another one today. We spooked a rabbit when we were over in that really good looking stuff, and I'm kind of wondering if there's a correlation to when you get into where rabbits are hanging out, their habitat. You know, there's got to be a certain rule there with how close deer like hanging out in the same kind of areas. You know, I think it's pretty close, maybe within 100 yards or so. So I don't know, I just love picking the woods apart like that, and the habitat apart. And we were in a lot of prairie today, and I'm a prairie reconstructionist, so it's fun to see that and see how the deer are using the prairie, and it's just always good to find sheds too, and always good to get outside.
Yeah, I had a blast doing this. Thanks for
good
inviting me and tagging me along, and maybe this won't be our last one.
No. We still got a lot of shed hunting. It's only February yet.
That's true. I
bet you half the antlers are still on bucks' heads right now. So
I can't believe how much thorns we got into today. There was a lot of overgrown areas there.
If you want the horns, you got to fight the thorns.
I've never heard that before.
That's the rule.
Oh my gosh. For a while there, I thought you were ribbing me in the beginning, directing me through all these thick little areas, trying to get back at me.
That's why I wear these pheasant hunting pants. Just they're good having that little bit of brush guard material on there, and yeah, you got to wade through a lot of, well, you know, you think about it, bucks, deer, they like edge, and they like early successional growth. And that's where thorns like. They like those disturbed areas that have been recently logged, areas along the edge of timber, transitioning into wetland or transitioning into prairie. You're gonna find thorns there, and you're also gonna find deer there. So yeah, you get pretty torn up by the end of shed season.
Something else to think about, just kind of final thoughts from my end. Even though we didn't find, like, aside from a 4.5 or 5.5 year old buck, a really nice side, that does not mean this area doesn't hold a deer like that.
No, within a mile of where we stand on Sunday, I found, I would guess that buck was a minimum of 5.5 years old. It was a year-old shed, so it had been sitting, it had been chewed, but it was a nice shed. It had a lot of mass, and that, like I said, that's within a mile of where we're standing right now. So.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this quick shed hunt, this kind of walk and talk podcast. Maybe we'll do some more of these with some folks throughout the year, just kind of kicking around that as a new idea. So thanks for being our test subject.
Oh yeah, this was fun. It was good to get out. And
yeah.
Sorry I was a little in the zone earlier when you're interviewing me. I just can't break my trance from staring at the ground. But no, this was great. Thanks for coming up with the idea, and glad we could get out. Glad we could find a few sheds.
Yeah, how can people find you on the First Gen Hunter Podcast Network?
Anywhere you listen to podcasts, just type in First Gen Hunter Podcast and you'll find stuff there. We've had some great interviews recently. Just had Drake Lamb from Midwest Whitetails on to talk about shed hunting. I did a shed hunting episode with my good friend Andrew Lukosevic from Endure Hunt. Just did that recently, and just had a new friend, Cameron from Salmon River Shooting School out in Idaho on a fantastic listen there. Just his experiences in the backcountry of Idaho over the decades, and some of the crazy stuff he's seen and done, but also some good pointers on shooting too. So got some other good ones coming up. Got one recording this evening with Louis from Alaska, who is a wolf hunter. And I think he's over 100 wolves now that he's trapped or hunted. So I'm excited to talk with Louis tonight.
Man, that's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us again. And you guys, if you ever want to watch our shows, you can always go back in the archives on Brownfield, and just the audio portion wherever you get your podcast, or the videos here on YouTube. But till next time, thanks for joining us. He's Kent Boucher. I'm Brent Barnett saying so long here on Outdoor Adventures.